Moving on to question number 2A, which is an 8-mark question. Remember, in an 8-mark question, the first reason we will be writing 4 marks. In the second reason, we will be also writing the other 4 marks. Okay? So, explain 2 possible reasons why Aisha set up CC as a business partnership. Reason 1, shared responsibilities of running the business. This is the knowledge. In the explanation, each partner can specialize in one aspect of the business where they have expertise. Aruna can work as an operations manager in CC as he can use his past expertise. This is the application. Aruna is basically Aisha's brother. This will decrease the workload for Aisha and she can focus in other areas. This is the second analysis. Okay, so first mark, second mark, third mark, and fourth mark. In reason 2, Aisha can raise more capital. This is the knowledge. As she can also gain $10,000 from her brother, this is the application. If CC was a sole trader, then she would only have her own money, which may not be sufficient. This is the first analysis, and additional capital will allow Aisha to invest in more equipment for the factory. Okay, so here we have the other 4 marks. 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark, and 4 mark. So 8 marks are done. Let's move on to question number 2B. So business starts. Moving on to question number 2B, which is consider the advantages and disadvantages of the following 3 methods of employee selection. Which method should CC use when recruiting production workers? Justify your answer. It's a 12-mark question. So which are the 3 methods? This one. Application form, interviews, and aptitude test. So in this slide, I'll be talking about the application form, and in the next slides, I'll be talking about interview and aptitude test. So let's start with the first one, which is the application form. So let's start with the application form, the first one. Okay, over here you see certain words that are in red underlined. This is basically the application of the whole answer. Okay, so the workers need to be skilled to operate the equipments, and therefore an application form will show the qualifications they have. So CC will see if they can do the job efficiently or not. This is the first advantage. The second advantage is easier to compare applicants. Let's talk about the disadvantages. However, applicants may lie on the form. Okay, so let's move on to the second part, which is the interview. So let's move on to the second point, which is the interview. Over here, we'll be using 2 advantages and 1 disadvantage. So the first advantage is it will show Aisha the personality of the applicant. The second advantage is meeting them face to face will be easier to assess their personality and whether the applicant may fit into the working environment of the factory making phone covers. The word phone cover is basically the application taken from the case study. Okay, it's basically taken from the case study, and the disadvantage is, however, if the worker is unfriendly, then they may not be good to employ as the other workers may not like them and output may fall. So this is the disadvantage of the second part, which is the interview. Now let's move on to the aptitude test. Moving on to the third part of this question, which is the aptitude test. Again, we'll be using 2 advantages and 1 disadvantage. So the first advantage speaks of shows whether the worker can do the job effectively because they cannot lie about their own skills. Okay, this is the first advantage. The second advantage is they should prevent an unsuitable person being employed and the efficiency of producing phone covers will be reduced in the factory. This is the second advantage. The disadvantage is, however, if the worker is unfriendly, then they may not be good to employ as the other workers may not like them and output may fall once again. So let's talk about the final part, which is the recommendation. So moving on to the recommendation part, here we have to choose one option and we also have to discuss why we are rejecting the other options. Okay? So interviews should be used as they allow CC to assess if the worker will fit into the teams in the factory and work well with the other employees in producing mobile phone covers. An application form will not allow CC to assess whether the applicant will fit into the working environment or not. Same in aptitude test, because in aptitude test, it is also very time consuming when you will carry out this test. So this is basically the recommendation, and question number 2B is done. Over here, thank you. For business, commerce, and economics tuitions, you can connect with Muhammad Ishtiaq bin Zaman sir at 01685 221141 or email us at thebusinesssstarbd@gmail.com.